content we talk about. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is episode 137 of the WarDawg Trail podcast. And we have a heavy hitter for you on this episode. We have Firearms Instructor and owner and competitive shooter that I've been trying to get on the show for a very long time. The man moves so smooth, you'd swear he was freaking SWAT Delta Force or something else. All right. But along with me, here's our host, my co-host, Tomo.
Oh, how are we, guys? A little bit on the fly today, guys, as I'm trying to run the show behind the scenes. So run with us, guys. Hope you're looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to learning stuff off this man that can move like the black of night.
Roger that. Hey, quick announcements. Remember, you can buy a copy of my book, The WarDawg Trail, A Marine Rifleman's Struggle with War and PTSD, on Apple Books, Audible, and Amazon. Remember, the book won an award from bookauthority.org as one of the best Iraq war books of all time. Hey, besides that, that's it, man. Let's roll with the big dog. Hey, without further ado, I bring to the stage the one, the only, Mr. Tre'Von Barber from South Carolina. Welcome to the show, boss. Welcome to the show, boss.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I don't know if it's my connection on this side, but it's chopping in and out. So I heard you welcome me to the show, so I just make sure I'm still good to go. But thank you.
Right on.
Just a bit of a delay there again, mate.
Good. Okay. I was like, uh-oh, did I drop off? Good deal. No, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, it's a pleasure to have you, mate. Look, very new to this scene, but obviously over the last couple of days been checking out, seeing who we're going to be hosting, mate, and it's very impressive, mate. Looking forward to learning more about guns, mate. We don't have the pleasure of that down here in Australia. They like to keep them all locked up unless you've got a uniform on. So looking forward to learning more about your passions and what's got you where to where you are today, mate.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you can't play, but thanks for having me.
Hey, we need to know, all right, you are an actual fan of this gentleman, all right? So you understand perspective we come from. We don't bring anyone on the show unless we happen to be true fans. All right. So this gentleman, he's got the answers that I know all of his clients probably love, man, because he out. I mean, as a competitive shooter and an instructor, he lays out like what needs to be said in a direct, positive and educational method, man. And he's one of the best I've seen in the business. Tre'Von, will you let us know? Start us off with your background in firearms, and then how you went on to be a competitive shooter, owner and CEO, etc.
Yeah. So actually, I didn't grow up around guns. We didn't have any guns in the house. The most I did was, shoot squirrels and birds that didn't need to get shot in the backyard with a BB gun. I think Boy Scout camp, we maybe shot 22s or something, like when I was 15 or 16, for one class or something. But when I turned 21, excuse me, when I turned 21, I just had that Southern male thing of, I want the tattoos, I want the motorcycles, I want the guns, I want all the stuff. I want all the stuff. Mama said, I don't need that. So,
Damn right.
I always had an interest. So as soon as I turned 21, probably a month after my birthday, I can't remember the exact sequence, whether I went and got my permit first and then the gun, or gun first and then the permit. Living in South Carolina, you can go and purchase a gun. You just can't carry it. At that time, you couldn't carry it without a permit. So, excuse me, sorry, drinking this Red Bull. But it's a pretty close timeline there of turn 21, so I could legally carry a gun at that time, and purchased a pistol. And then I was a collegiate wrestler up until about that time, and I got injured and could no longer compete. But the competitive spirit never really goes away. So I was out in the woods off of my college campus, just trespassing on somebody's property, trying to shoot some cans off in the woods, and I realized I was trash, and I didn't know what I was doing. Holding the gun in the way that I thought was the proper way. I was looking up, YouTube videos, and seeing like a teacup grip and all kinds of terrible instruction. And so I started looking up. I started looking up, just the proper methods of how to hold a gun and how to do XYZ, and started running across competition shooters who were teaching, performance-based weapons handling, and that's kind of how I stumbled on, like, oh crap, there's a competitive world to shooting, and that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of calling around to some local clubs to see who was competing, and meeting the guys there. They gave me the basics of, here's how you hold the gun properly, here's how you press the trigger properly, and then kind of went through the YouTube University. So probably for the first 2 years of owning a gun, I didn't go compete. I wasn't teaching. I taught myself, essentially, because at the time I couldn't afford to take a class. So YouTube University was my teacher, and found some of the OG legends like Rob Latham and Lanny Basham and people like that who've taught all around the world for 30, 40 years. And then I got into competing for about a year, and it took me about a year and 6 months, but I went from a B class shooter in the world of USPSA and hit master class in about that same time period, and figured if I can teach myself without any formal instruction, just some YouTube stuff and going to the range, if I can teach myself to go from kind of here to here in that time frame, I can probably teach other people. So I started a company. The first name was actually Executive Defense Group, because I had this thing in my head of maybe I'll start doing like private security or something like that. That didn't pan out, so I changed the name to make it less security and tactical training, and just my last name is Barber, so Barber's Training Solutions, and that's kind of how that came to be.
Right on.
Yep.
Hey,
and then just started
congratulations, bro.
continued competing. Thank you.
Can you give us like the time frames? What year did you start competitive, and then
Mm-hmm.
the company? These
I think that was 2015 to 2016 when I first became a gun owner. So I'm right now at a decade. And I started competing about 2 years after that. So from never having touched a pistol to competing was about 2 years. And then about 2 years after that, I started teaching. And I started teaching on the basic side of just your basic pistol classes of here's how you don't shoot yourself in the face. And then kind of moved into doing the concealed weapon permit classes. Those aren't much beyond a basic pistol class as well. It's actually less than a basic pistol class, unfortunately. But so that those two things kind of got my feet wet of learning how to deliver information. I think there's a big gap in the gun world right now. Probably always has been, but especially now, especially with social media being so prevalent, um, between people who may know how to properly press the trigger and run and do everything, but actually delivering that information in a way that somebody can hear your words, understand what you're saying, and then do the stuff that you just asked them to do. That skill by itself,
right.
I spent that 2 or 3 year period just teaching the absolute basics, just to learn how to deliver information better. And then from there, I was able to start teaching in the competition world because those guys and girls already have the basics. They already understand the do's and don'ts. Now you're trying to teach to a little bit of a higher level. So your delivery needs to be at that level as well. Um, and that's kind of how I made
Yeah,
my
it
mark
has to
of like
be. Has
yep. And that's kind of where my popularity came, I guess, in the very beginning for sure, of kind of taking what you would consider to be a advanced skill and teaching it like a do this like this to that, and this will be your outcome.
Sounds
And
very
so
military like.
just yeah, just dumb it down so everybody understands it, and the person who doesn't understand it, well, that's probably just the true dummy who shouldn't be here. But so that's how I teach.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I hope I answered your question.
No, mate, I think you did. I think you did. Well, on a personal level, mate, what was it like building into your business and then also trying to create your programs at the same time? You know, starting to juggle not only your passions but obviously the business side of it.
Yeah, in the beginning, I think it was almost easier in the beginning because I was still trying to really grow my own skill set. Um, and with that, it was kind of easy to teach others along the way because I was essentially teaching you what I just learned.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a point where not plateaued, but I've hit kind of that. I'm in between the master and grandmaster level, so the tweaks and the skill set is mostly just consistency at this point. And to me personally, that's been the hardest thing. And then on the business side, it's the same thing. You just have to have that same level of consistency. So it's kind of going from the mom and pop store to the Fortune 500 company. You're really not doing anything that much different. It's kind of the consistency and the volume at that point. So yeah, from the personal level, it's definitely a seesaw. Kind of you have your ups and downs as far as the training side goes, and then the business side goes. And over the course of time, my business has changed a lot. So I was doing a ton of classes around the country, physically in person, like going from South Carolina to Texas and Florida and all up and down the East Coast. And now the business has changed a little bit to where I'm doing more consulting work for other businesses and other instructors and um, doing your influencer type stuff for social media. I work with companies like
right
Whoops
on.
and Alien Gear. It's like, hey man, we love your content.
Silence the shop.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Silence Your Shop. Like, companies who, you've already been purchasing stuff from them anyway. You're already doing cool stuff, and they're like, hey, let's work it out to where you're just doing that stuff more often for us, and we can figure this thing out. So that's been a huge help and blessing as far as me being able to continue doing what I'm doing now, without that support, it'd definitely be a lot more difficult.
100%.
Right on. Can we take this time now to have you let everyone know where they can find you on and on social media?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm terrible at that. Barber, Barber Training Solutions on all. My bad. Barber Training Solutions on all platforms, well as the website. I keep it simple, man. Everything's the same. So I am on
All right.
mostly Instagram and Facebook. If you find me on Facebook, please do not be offended when I do not accept the friend request.
Yeah.
I already have 5,000 people on there. 4,000 of them I don't know.
Yeah.
So Facebook, I've done my best to try to keep it to like the true local crowd, the people that I kind of sort of know to a degree. Instagram is completely different. I've got people all over the world on there, so everybody can be my friend there, and I do my absolute best to answer DMs. But if you send me a million reels after I answer your first question, I'm probably not anymore. I love all my followers, but it's I've got some that I started answering questions, or they send something one time, and now I'm like, hey man, appreciate the gesture of sending something that's funny. However, you're killing my inbox.
It must be just ding, 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 ding all day.
Oh man, it's funny, and I'll go in there. I like it every so often. I'm like, hey man, there's every morning I've got my little system, emails, DMs. I gotta stop seeing your name unless you got something really real to question. But no, it's all good. So yeah, that's where you can find me, just being funny but serious at the same time.
Well, that's where I've been checking you out, brother, and hopefully we can get you a few more Aussie followers down here that are a bit more enthusiast with their weapons than I am.
Yeah, I met some of you guys at in South Africa a couple weeks ago. We had the World Championship, and Team Australia, to not have guns, Australia came in second place in the previous World Championship. So I have no idea how those guys are training enough to become that good, and they took all your guns away.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate. It's absolutely crazy.
Hey, you just gamed me, so you're an international shooter now, right?
Only just recently. Yeah, South Africa was September. I think I was there from the 10th to the 23rd for the World Championship. Excuse me. It was an amazing experience.
Damn right, that counts, bro. National. Bro, I like that.
Previously, it was just Puerto Rico. They have an amazing championship match every February, and I've gone the past 3 years, but it's only a 3-hour ride. So I to say international, I don't know if I can count that. But South Africa, definitely. Yeah, that was amazing. It was an amazing time. Awesome people.
And you have these competitions obviously all around the world then, yeah?
Yeah, so it's the, what is it called? IPSC. So it's International Pistol or International Practical Shooting Competition. And then United States has the United States Practical Shooting Association, USPSA. So we have kind of our own, America, we have to do everything different. So we've got our own little organization, and then everybody else in the entire world does IPSC. So we're starting to come around. You're starting to see a lot more IPSC matches, and they use a specific target. So we're starting to see those targets more. Definitely for the people who are more serious shooters, and they're starting to travel more, and IPSC's starting to do more matches here. So I enjoy a blend of the two.
Nice.
Yep. It's been cool.
Can you tell me, because I know nothing in the competitive shooter world other than watching guys like you killing the game. Where can your average person find out where these events are or when they're happening? Like website or
the vast majority will be hosted on.
Can you let everyone?
Yeah, the vast majority are going to be hosted on a platform called Practice Score. It's just a website, and you go there, and it's got every competition that's local to your area. It's actually got a map that you can toggle the filters, and it's international as well. So when we were shooting in South Africa, Practice Score had the scores going up there. So if anybody's looking for whether it's USPSA, 2-gun, 3-gun, 22, cowboy pistol, whatever they call it. I mean, there's a bunch of organizations that do different sorts of shooting, but practicescore.com or practicescore.org, one of the two. That's where you can pretty much find all of them. There might be some other websites that host a few like quote unquote outlaw matches, but for the most part, 99% you're gonna find on Practice Score. I mean, that's PRACTI score. Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if any of you been trying to find out competitive shooter world, you just heard it from one of the greatest in the business. Practice Score. That will let you know where competitive shooting will be happening in your area, or is it anywhere else, right?
Yeah, it's
Finally
it's
got
a world
some
map
information on competitive shooting.
Yeah, if you live anywhere else in the world, it should pull up for you as well. Other than maybe the Aussies, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just got to wait a couple of years to catch up.
Yeah, apparently you guys do some pretty cool matches there too, but I'm not sure how it works with your gun laws.
I can't even tell you how it works with our gun laws, mate.
All good. You have to come here, and I've got some you can borrow.
Mate, I've been staring at your armory. If my son was right here, right now, mate, I don't think he'd go to school. He'd be saying, "Dad, let's go to America now."
Yeah, this is the favorite room in the house for sure, and everybody comes over.
I can imagine, mate. The only place we have to go in, it's the only thing equivalent is our equivalent of airsoft, our BB guns.
Oh wow!
We walk in there, mate. That's the closest thing. I was like, oh, just toys.
I feel bad.
No, don't feel bad, mate. You're producing all the content, getting it out there for us to jump online and have a look, mate.
Exactly. That's
awesome.
Where we wanted to transition to next. Please tell us about taking your training online and becoming the gun influencer and the two-way online presence and individual that you are. Please talk to us about when you got online with your first videos, or
Yeah. So I am one of the type of people, if you ask, hey man, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? And I will tell you, I just want to be having fun, healthy, see my current 5-year-old be 10 and just doing good. So I try to make as many good decisions on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute basis, and typically those good decisions tend to work out to a good outcome. So 10 years ago, however many years ago, I just started recording myself, especially once I started competing. So started just posting those videos because just like a lot of people currently now don't know that this world exists. People definitely didn't know 7, 8 years. I think it's been 7 years, 8 years ago, didn't know that the world of competition existed. And then I would start to just show basics to me of, hey, here's a more efficient way to draw the gun, to reload your gun. Here's what your brain or your eyes should see to be able to shoot as fast as we do and get accurate hits at that pace. So started posting stuff like that, and that started catching some traction. And then from there, just honestly, dude, if I get an idea that comes to my head, I just hit record. And if I think it's going to be a good one, I'll throw it up there. And for the most part, it's done pretty well. Kind of got popular 4 or 5 years ago. I was teaching at an event I attended an event called Iron Sharpens Iron, and met a whole lot of people there who I didn't know were pretty popular in the gun world. and they were sharing videos of me. It was a training event, and I was shooting, so they were sharing videos of me, and nobody knew who the heck this Barber dude was, but man, that guy's shooting fast. And I think the one that really did it, I shot off of I think it was 50 or 100 foot tall 2-story shooting platform, and there was a pistol. Yeah, there was a pistol mini popper. I think it was probably 100 yards away, and they were all shooting with rifles, and they were missing and crap. I didn't have my rifle up there. I said, you know what? Let me try this, and I pulled out my pistol. And first shot, bing! Like, oh shit! Oh. And so they started sharing that one all over the place. And I think I went from probably like 6,000 followers and woke up the next day and it was like 12,000. And it just kept on going for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, and just continued to grow from there. So over the years, I've gotten a little more consistent and a little better quality videos and better quality content. And it kind of goes on a cycle of, right now I'm showing these are cool guns, and then I'll kind of have some instruction stuff and kind of follow the ebbs and flows of what social media is looking for and how it's looking, but always trying to always stay authentic to just me. So like people see some of the videos and I'm on there talking crap of like, hey man, y'all are making some dumb decisions. You should probably stop. So, and people, some people get upset and others they're gonna laugh, but at the end of the day, you just, it's me. I'm just going to share it. And companies kind of jumped on board of some of that stuff. So like I said, supporters like Wook, saw the wood rifles there. And then Science Your Shop. Love those guys. And now my 9 to 5 is working in the gun industry for Right to Bear. I'll shameless plug to Right to Bear, but offering the best concealed carry coverage or protection on the market. So for the best price and then the best group of people, I couldn't be happier to have found a family essentially to work for in the gun world. So, and in the marketing side. So I couldn't really ask for much else.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
Now, my question is, as tactically proficient as you are, can you explain to us how you matter of fact, hold on. When you said, how you break it down, right? This is true. And the Marines, they'll say, do I need to break it down to you Barney style? Which, the Barney kid thing back in the day. Be like, I'm going to drop this down to bass, low. I'm going to give it to you Barney style, all right? But as you mentioned, I would like to know how you approach training your females with your level of higher training. Do you do any? I mean, what like you do anything different, or do you
Nope. I train everybody the exact same way. Now I do ask typically before somebody comes to me, because right now this entire year I've only done private sessions. So whether it's a private group, or one individual, or it's like, hey, I'm bringing my child or my wife, whatever it is, everybody starts the exact same way. I ask for your general background, but I've had folks who are current or prior SWAT and who were absolute garbage, and then I've had people who were current or prior SWAT and they've been absolutely fantastic and amazing. So with that, any seasoned instructor will probably tell you the same thing of the guy who says, man, I was ex-military and I've done this and I've done that. And it's like, I applaud you for your resume. I appreciate your service. That's probably kept me safe at least a night or two. However, bullets tend to get there if you send enough of them. So let's check to see how good you are if I tell you only get one. And that's kind of where I start everybody. So whether you're the little grandma or you're the ex-SWAT Delta Force Marine dude, hey man, we're just going to check your fundamentals. And if you don't have fundamentals, well, now I know exactly where we can start, which is baseline. But I ask everybody the same question, just kind of give me a little background, where you're at. And then if they have some sort of training, it's like, all right, I take a 1-inch paster, which is a sticker that we use to cover up holes on targets. I put it on the middle of a target. We walk to 7 yards, and I tell you, shoot the paster. That's the test. Just hit the sticker. You're at 7 yards. If you can hit the sticker, all right, we can move on to something else. But then while I'm watching them hit the sticker, I'm checking their grip, I'm checking their foot placement, I'm seeing if they're closing an eye, or are they looking at the stop, or are they looking at their sights, are they looking at the target. Just taking an overall of all the fundamentals that they've got going on, and we kind of build from there. And so that's my first check mark. They can hit that sticker. Cool. Now, can you do it consistently? All right, cool. All right, let's go back and let's do a build drill or things like that. But long answer, longer. So I don't give anybody a special, I don't have this test for this group and this test for this group. Everybody's kind of got the same sort of, hey, this is where we're going to meet you. And so long as you kind of meet the standard here, we move on to the next thing and to the next thing and to the next thing.
All right.
Actually, the ladies tend to be much better students, by the way. So any of the ladies watching,
they'll listen, right?
Much better. Yeah, they listen.
They'll listen to your instruction.
Anybody who, oh yeah, and even if they have like some bad habits, because their uncle told them this is how you hold a gun last time they were at the family barbecue, it's kind of easier to erase that versus if I get, no disrespect, if I get like an ex-military guy who was taught how to shoot in 92, and now I've got to try to undo all the stuff that he's done to 2025, and it's like, hey, well, I know that's kind of worked for you, standing still at a 5-yard target and just hitting anywhere. But if you want to shoot to a more proficient level, let me show you a couple things if you don't mind. And you kind of paid me to give you this instruction, so would you mind listening to
me? You damn right.
That's always the most fun conversation I have is, hey man, I've asked you a couple times to do this same thing, and each time you give me a rebuttal. You want me to coach you or no?
So, it's that way.
It's always fun.
I can see that.
Oh,
it gets that way, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Now
it's all good. It's part of the way that you become a better coach is learning how to coach different people.
Right on. And that actually segues us into kind of a friendly debate we'd like to have with you. Once you made a comment, and I totally agreed with you, still totally agree with you. Just because a person is military or law enforcement does not mean they can teach you what's required to survive or to learn proper techniques, basics. Everything. I totally agree with that. I especially agree with I'll tell you what I've run across interviewing most influencers and whatnot, right? Most of the guys that are now, influencers and operators, when they come on the show and I ask them and they let me know, when they had I won't say when they had the chance, but like in my eyes, okay, there were 2 Super Bowls going on. There were 2 wars going on, Iraq and Afghanistan at the same time. I run into a lot of the influencers that when they were in or served, they were really far from the combat by their job, right? So I don't say I get confused, but to me, it's like, okay, I see you now as this, great operator, influencer. But when you had the chance to go to the Super Bowl, to be paid to fight men that are trained to kill just like you are trained to kill, and that you have that chance to put all your tactics and whatnot on the line because you're in that actual situation of individuals firing at you and you engage and neutralize your threat, right? So I totally understand. I wanted to kind of add, which I don't know if most people in society know, about 4% military is actually in combat arms. All right, only, and then I'm talking like don't touch a gun more than once a year to recall. All right. And people don't really, I don't know that or acknowledge that much. But yeah, there's about 4% of us that grunt, that assault,
combat.
But then, like I said, majority support jobs, right?
Yep.
So, give me, because the feeling I had some macho motherfuckers coming and telling you like, oh, I've been this and I'm that, and I did this 20 years ago. And I'm feeling like enough of that shit, like law enforcement guys saying that kind of shit to you. That might have been what provoked you to make your stance. Is that what happened?
Yeah, to a degree. I don't even remember when or why I made that statement, but typically if I make a really controversial, or I don't even consider that controversial, but something that is highly opinionated, like one-sided, especially on social media, is because I've definitely seen that stated multiple times, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna say something at this point. Because I do a pretty good job, I think, of confusing people about like my politics or beliefs. Because I'll post one thing that's left today, and I'll post another thing that's right tomorrow, or I'll post it the same day, and they're like, "Are you left or are you right?" And I'm just like, "I'm neither one, bro. I'm pro common sense, like pro good decisions. It doesn't matter who it doesn't matter who made the decision, just so long as it's a good one." But yeah, no, I still completely stand 10 toes down on that statement that just because you served in the military or as a law enforcement officer, private security, whether you're stateside or private security overseas, um, while everybody's grateful for that service, right? Just like you said, 4% actually served in a combat MOS, and then even less actually saw combat or true combat. Um, and even still, just because you sent bullets downrange and had bullets returned to you doesn't mean that you are a fit person to deliver information on how to do that job. Um, I wrestled from the time that I was 5 until junior year of college when I got hurt. And what I found is that I can I can teach somebody to shoot easier than I can teach them to wrestle the way that I wrestle. So I've taught wrestling for the past 3 years on and off to MMA gyms, to my little sister and little cousin. They both wrestle. The high school that I went to is 5 minutes down the road. They'll have me come around every so often, and I find it very difficult to relay what my body knows how to do naturally because it's done it since I could probably read. You know what I mean, or even sooner. I was 5 years old, tossing other 5 year olds around or getting tossed around, right? So it's hard for me to relay that information, even though I have done it time and time again, year and year over. So the same thing kind of goes for any other skill. You might be the best football player or the best artist or whatever the hell the case may be, but doesn't mean that you're able to deliver that information properly or transfer that knowledge. Because a lot of folks can get into a situation and get themselves out of it with little to no training. You got to look at the young folks in inner cities who go to war every evening with each other. Those boys ain't trained, but they know how to shoot back, and they know how to get the hell out of Dodge. But I don't think I want to go ask the kid on the 14-year-old in Chicago to teach me how to shoot properly or tactics and training.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, you've got the experience, salute, but that doesn't mean you are a teacher or a good deliverer of information.
Right on. And that's why I appreciate that perspective. Now, I want to play devil's advocate. Here a little bit. It's like I said, I totally agree with your stance, right? But in reverse, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I am a part of that 4% that actually, goes in, has cleared, has been in rooms with men with AKs and whatnot.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, just off the bat, how many gunfights have you survived?
None. Not
Okay.
gunfights to where
So,
I'm also returning fire, but having been shot at or bullets going past me, yes.
all right. So,
Arms distance,
can you
yes. Not meant for me though.
um
Not meant for
Yeah.
me.
I
Just
got you. I
wrong
got you.
place, wrong time.
But can you acknowledge that you know that there are teenagers in the military that know more than police and SWAT teams and carry bigger guns and get paid?
Can I acknowledge it? I'm not 100% certain. Just because of the age, if that makes sense. So like you can have a technically you can have a 17-year-old sign up for the military with parental signature, but let's just say uh 18 to 21, I would guess, because most law enforcement require you to be 21 so you can carry a gun. Um, now there has to be some, especially some of the ones who come in and they go straight towards a SF role or a special forces role. They get put on that track just because of they're that guy. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
some of them I would suspect are better trained, better equipped for sure than most law enforcement. But as far as the experience goes, I would find it hard to believe that many have more experience purely just because of the age. But that does not negate that there are definitely going to be some.
No, I just meant more like acknowledging, like, let's say for my example,
Hmm.
by 18, I had already become a Marine rifleman, and I left the country at 18. I left the country
Hmm.
and turned 19, 20, and 21, 3 straight tours in Iraq. So
Yeah,
it's
you got
more
it in.
like, even when you mention experience, you
Hmm.
realize that there are 17, 18-year-olds that join, come
Yeah,
whatever, Rangers, this, that, and that. They get all the quals, and then they go
yeah,
operate at 18, 19, and 21. Like I said, on a
yeah,
level above police and SWAT, and they don't
yeah.
come home at night. And there's no visitation for us. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Sorry, I need to silence this call.
Yeah.
Good, good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you were saying, as far as like possibly not being able to acknowledge or their
Yeah, yeah,
experience
yeah. Yep, yep.
after during that first, when military guys are training up in these combat arms MOSs,
Hmm.
pretty much like I said, like me, at 18, I was already, Marine infantry rifleman, and then I left the country to go to Iraq at 18, carrying an M249 automatic. So I already knew when I came back from that first tour, because we were the first unit into Baghdad that pulled Saddam's statue down. Knew because, we knew generally SWAT teams hit a few houses, and then that's usually it out. We hit
Hmm.
whole neighborhoods, cities, subdivisions, villages at the same time,
Yeah.
continuous, one house to the next. Hell, I've cleared Baghdad University. Every dorm, closet, room, board. So, like I said, in some ways, can you at least acknowledge that once these guys get that training, which
Hmm.
you don't know all of what they went through, and then you don't know where they've deployed and actually not just say I trained, but I did this there. Can you
Hmm.
acknowledge then that there are teenagers that might be just as tactically proficient with more than just a rifle and a pistol, explosives, hand to hand, everything? Because I run into a lot here. Well, I run into it everywhere where everything's segmented. You got martial arts guy here, shooting guy there, explosives guy there, everyone. But they miss that in the military we encompass all of that. You can't just be
Hmm.
good on the range. You also need to be able to hike 20 miles. You also need to be able to survive out here. You also need to be able to know how to call a plane. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Does that change your stance at all to say that there are teenagers that have already been there, done that at their 19,
Yeah.
20-year-old ages, including currently now, because obviously
Yeah.
we have guys in now. It's teenage.
No, I
Yeah.
completely understand what you're saying, and that is not part of the statement. So it wasn't it's not a there are no military folks who can teach. It is the fact that you get, this is zero disrespect, but
Yep.
you get the guy who was the cook, or the guy who
There
was
you go. That was my point.
who
That's
was
why I said 4%.
who was
That's why I say
fueling
4%.
yeah, who was fueling the plane, saying, "Oh yeah, I was there as a I was there with the fighter pilot." It's like, "Oh damn, he's a pilot." They won't tell. They'll just stop, right? But they want to portray that they have this ability and this knowledge to teach others simply because they were in the military. So that is not taking
Right.
away from their experience or that they were there. It's simply that your MOS
Trying to
didn't
stay
even
just
do
that.
the things that you're trying to teach. Now, again, still playing devil's advocate on my side for what you stated. So let's say, and salute for everything that you did, right? But the same way how I said, I made it to the collegiate level of wrestling, right? So there's not really a step above it unless you're going to the Olympics. But our guys who wrestle in the Olympics are actually trying out when they're in college. Very few, high schoolers who are at that level. There's been a couple, but the majority of them, once they hit kind of college level, that's kind of where there is no like NFL to wrestling other than, you know what I'm saying? But I go back to my statement of, even though I hit that level of wrestling ability,
Doesn't make you
I
a good
still
coach.
to this day don't deliver that information as effectively as the dude who was on my wrestling team in high school, who was not as good as me, who doesn't have medals hanging all around his room. But that dude's a badass coach. He coaches better than I do. So let's say for you, for example, this isn't to say I'm a better teacher than you. I'm just for argument's sake. Argument's sake. So you've
Hell, you
kicked in the
might be.
door.
I don't deny it. You
You know what I'm
might be. I
saying?
don't deny it.
You
Shit.
you've kicked in the doors. You've more than likely put some bullets in people, have bullets go by you, et cetera, right? Um, and then maybe you go, and I don't know if you teach or not. Do you teach?
Oh, I've taught Marines assault, taking over the full
Yeah.
cities. But about 10,000.
No,
Like they'd come in 1,000 at a time. Everyone before they had to go to Iraq or Afghan had to come to my spot
there you go.
for urban assault.
There you go. There you go. Very nice. But let's say you've done all the things, and these Marines come through you, or whomever's coming to you. But you're just not a very good team. This is for example play sake, not for real. Obviously they've done well to go through you. But let's say you weren't a good teacher, even though you have gone through the experience. Now you can execute, you can be point man, you can do all the things, but delivering that information uh, in a easy to understand and a easy to execute manner may just not be your particular skill set, even though you have the experience. Same thing for me on the wrestling side. Even though I have coached wrestlers, I know I am not the best wrestling coach. Even though none of y'all can beat me, I'm still not the best wrestling coach. I'm going to recommend that you go and talk to this guy or this girl. Does that make sense?
100%, mate. I think
Hell yeah.
touching on it is that instructor side of things. Just because you're a good operator doesn't automatically make you a good instructor. Can you turn the information that you've acquired as an operator and then be able to explain that in layman's term to someone that's never picked up a weapon? And look, I'm an engineer. If I had my way in Afghanistan, I would have carried a pistol and not a rifle because I'm fucking useless. My job was to look for bombs, I expected the guys that trained with the rifles every day to be making sure they were looking out for me. But it's the same thing, mate. I'm an instructor. I could just teach I could teach you just about anything. But getting in thing, I'm sure I could come in. You could give me a program, and after 2 or 3 days watching you run through it and that, I could start picking up and I could start implementing it. But it's that personalized stuff as an instructor, those little minute things that I can't give that you will pick up as an operator as well as an instructor that adds to your credentials, I suppose, is where I'm looking at it. And I definitely agree, mate. You know, there's dudes that were teaching me explosives that I'd never go and lay bombs with.
Yeah. Now I do understand experience cannot be replaced. So if I am the lead pistol instructor, and I'm teaching a military unit or even a local SWAT unit or something, it's great to have a guy like yourself who's kicked indoors, who's been through this experience, so that now I can tell you why you need to process this information this fast and why we're doing it this way, because this dude here is going to tell you if you don't do it that way, you're getting shot in the face. And I have the experience to tell you that is what happened. Does that make sense?
100%. 100%.
Oh yeah.
I love how you said you guys have to do all the things. Like, hey man, you're a shooter and that's all you do. And you guys have to encompass a lot. My next rebuttal, not really a rebuttal, but I guess kind of going down the rabbit hole additionally, is I get the unique opportunity to live where I live. I'm very close to Fort Bragg. Military folks know Bragg has all the special force dudes possible stuck in one little area, or they all circle through. Now it's Fort Liberty or something. They renamed it a couple years ago. But Bragg is SF Central, so shooting where I shoot, we get a lot of SF guys who come through the competition scene, and just so happens that Delta either was here or I don't know if they rotated to another base by now, but we got some Delta boys here. And they were explaining how when they go to training, the vast majority of them go visit civilians. And it blew my mind. I was like, why would you go to civilian schools? He said, because the civilians, you guys specialize in one thing and one thing only. So you're the absolute best at, let's say, your pistol stuff. They'll go and have JJ Rakaza or whoever's the absolute best pistol shooter in the world who just won the world championship. They go and hire that guy. It's like, hey, teach us whatever the shit that we might not know about shooting a pistol. And of course, they know how to shoot a pistol, but shooting it at the world-class level. Teach me how to do that. Okay, awesome. Now we need to go to diving school. So we're going to go to the world champion diver and get better information there. And we're going to go to the Red Bull racing team and learn how to fly in like a freaking squirrel and freaking, all the crazy cool stuff that you see them encompass, and then the bomb school and all that crap. So they get to go and nitpick and grab the absolute best of the best to get their individual information delivered to them, and then they can go and execute that job. And then you get your units who are seer specialists and stuff like that, who get kind of all that information and get to give it to that one person who has to drink from a fire hose, unfortunately, but just dump all that information on them. So I say all that to say, delivering information as an instructor or a teacher, that in itself is a skill that I think a lot of people kind of overlook and don't spend enough time honing. So like, if you guys were kicking indoors and shooting bad guys in the face and doing whatever, now you take the time. Okay, let me evaluate all the stuff that I did. Let me package this up in the easiest way to deliver this information, so that the mistakes that I made, hopefully they don't make it. But then also the good stuff that I did, let me have the reasoning behind it and the way to deliver this information to the people who need to use it, because they're next up. So let's try to keep them alive and keep them as efficient as possible.
Hey, right on, bro. That's why I wanted to have you on the show. You have that distinction. You have that distinction. And I'm sorry I didn't catch on to the mindset earlier before now, but it dawned on me. I totally get it now. It has never been about whatever experience. You've never been knocking any of that to anybody, to anyone who ever took offense. All right. He's coming from the perspective of the actual fact as an educator. as an instructor, how are you able to convey that information? And how are you able to convey it on his level to where they can understand? Coming from, whatever the mindset of other military or law enforcement, doesn't mean you know how to educate. And I will give you that, because it just crossed my mind just as much as you said. And I also have to thank you. It's gentlemen like you who made me man up and look in the mirror and realize that, you know what, whatever the hell we did 10, 15, 20 years ago, it means nothing, today and what we're facing. You know what I mean? And that's the mindset
Don't diminish what you guys did, right? It's just making sure that you look at it from the perspective of, this is what we did, and if I want to keep the next people who are coming behind me a little safer, let me figure out a way that I can deliver this information without coming at them with the rah rah rah, me, I'm God, this and that. Right? Because you get a dude like me. I'm born and bred Southern. It's like, hey Mo, hey Bo, I'll slap shit out you. I don't care where you went and did who you did. What, you alive today? You want to stay that way? All right, we better talk like we got some sense.
Hey, that South Carolina came out right there. You heard it? That straight South Carolina came out.
If anybody watching, if you're not from the South, and you hear somebody, you guys can clearly tell I've got at least a little Southern accent underneath. Right? Yeah, but if you hear that real hey Bo, and it changes,
as when it's time, it's on. It's on.
Hey man, I'm on your ass like white on rice. Yes, you better watch out.
Yes, sir. But hey, like I said, I want to thank you. That's why I really wanted to talk to you and see where I totally get it now.
Yes, sir.
You are % right. Presentation, bro. Doesn't matter where you've been, what you've done, however many years. You open my eyes to two aspects, which is presentation being the most, and then some of your posts years ago, I opened my eyes and had me to man up to. That shit was 20 years ago, man. Fallujah was 20 years ago. When I ran into Baghdad, pulled Saddam Hussein, that shit was then. So what are you now? Are you still tactically proficient now? Yeah, we have, a lot of us from the war have war injuries, this or that. I got rods in my hip, metal screws in my back, metal disc in my neck. So we know, most of us that can acknowledge, you can't move as smooth as you want to or you used to. But when we see a guy like you who does and who can, and now I'm understanding the power behind the instruction part, man, the presentation. I have never given so much thought to that until you just spoke and explained. You just opened my eyes, bro. You just put me on game, like, for real. It is definitely nothing about the experience. It's can you teach? How do you teach? How well do you teach? Do your students retain? And like you said, everything you do. And so, bro, for that, I thank you. I thank you, across the world, for everyone that you teach, because now I know they're not only getting the quality training that they get from you and the competitive shooting and all, but you actually take the time and don't come at them raw about learning and about taking that time. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were so well and great at that, and how important that is, and everyone trying to say what they did versus to teach others. You brought that point 1,000% today, and I thank you, bro.
I appreciate you for letting me share.
Yeah, mate. It's amazing. Just for me, mate, the one thing that's it's really stood out from this conversation, mate, is being able to take that knowledge from the guys. So I'm assuming that you've spent lots of time around ex-military guys, operators, and that. So you've picked up the little bits and pieces that they've been able to share, and then I'm assuming as being a great instructor, as a great educator, you've been able to take that knowledge and then being able to share that again to the people that you're taking on your courses, mate. And it giving them a skill set that's going to protect them when the world goes to chaos.
Yeah, to a degree, and I say to a degree, I am also a very, very big proponent of staying in your wheelhouse. So because I've never served in the military, that was the goal. That was the only thing I was looking to do out of high school, and then I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So that was a
Oh
big
shit, bro!
Yeah.
You
yeah.
competitive shoot while you dealing with ones?
No, I don't have it anymore. They cut out my
Oh,
colon
okay.
years
You
ago.
had the chop.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
had the chop.
S-
But yeah, I
Still,
was
man, I'm sorry you had to go deal with that.
nah. It was a humbling experience that I wouldn't want to go through it again. But it's one of those like life lessons of cool. I'm glad I went through it. It made me a better person. Shitty situation, figuratively and literally, but you know, just it makes you a better person. At least for me, it did. It humbled me a lot. I'll say that for sure. But no, that was definitely the goal was to go the SF route. That was the only thing I had in mind out of high school, while in high school as well. But then when I got that notice in junior year, I think it was, I had my letter in to West Point, and I was gonna do the damn thing, and I got that
Hey,
diagnosis.
congrats!
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, but got told no after that, so changed and went a different route and started wrestling. But back to the original point. Sorry, I got off on a tangent. I stay in my wheelhouse. So like, do I understand CQB to a certain degree? Yes. Do I understand um, whatever tactics? Okay, I'll use that word tactics. Do I understand? You know, from certain units, you know, everybody does their tactics a little bit different based on their experience or where in the
Different.
world they're
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
whether they're
Yeah.
law enforcement or military, different tactics, right? But when I get typically it's guys, when I get guys saying, "Hey, man, I want to pay you for a 4 hour class, and I need you to teach me some tactics," and I make sure that I ask them, do you want to know how to shoot better, or are you actually looking for true tactics of do this when this happens sort of instruction? And anybody who says that that's what they're looking for, I say, hey, respectfully, I'm glad you hit me up, but that is not my world. I do understand it, but I've never done it. I've never been there, so I don't feel comfortable relaying that information. Let me tell you about A, B, and C instructor or school that you should reach out to instead. I think a lot of people get in trouble, not true trouble, but they put others in trouble. They put their business in trouble. They put their professionalism in trouble when they are trying to deliver information that they don't have a full understanding of. And in my opinion, that is where your experience does come in handy. So if you are trying to teach CQB and you've never actually had to do it and take the lessons that you learned and trying to relay that. Now, of course, we all don't learn all the lessons, but if you've never had any experience doing the things that you're trying to teach, I believe you're doing a very big disservice to your students. So even though I might have an understanding of whatever, if I've never actually done it or been there, I don't feel comfortable teaching that. So that's why your force on force sort of stuff, I'm fine with teaching that. I wrestled at a very high degree, so manhandling another human being is second nature. Shooting to a very high degree, I I do that. I do that all the time. So if I need to combine shooting and fighting, I can teach that all day long. But if you also want me to now tell you how to clear that room and to shoot and to fight, I've got 2/3 of it. But let me go and grab my partner who actually does CQB, and he's been 17-year hostage rescue sort of guy. He'll teach you that portion.
Yeah,
Right
that's
on.
amazing, mate.
Right on.
Absolutely
Right
amazing.
on.
Mhm.
Right on. Hey, bro, I gotta tell you, man, you've impressed me so much in this episode, man. And you're
Thank you.
I didn't know that you were so humble, bro. I really didn't. I thought it was the other
I
way
appreciate it.
around. No,
No, I know
because like I said,
my social media presence is it makes me seem like I'm the cool guy that's always like that, but that is the image that's the image that social media wants to see. So that's what you.
Yeah. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to show. Damn right.
Yes,
Damn shit, man. This has been a really great talk, man. And like I said, I thank you for opening my eyes to how important the presentation of firearm instruction is. All right. Experience,
yes, sir.
great. That'll get you so far. But if you cannot teach and explain it to a civilian, email to, if you can't break it down and convey it and explain it and teach it in the proper ways without the attitudes and aggression, anger, rah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you've taught me today, man. That Barber Training Solutions, man, is even more on point than I knew or thought, because that perspective that you have and come from. And I love that, man. I love this episode, bro. I love this episode. Do you have any final words?
No, I just appreciate you guys for having me on. Sorry it took so long for me to get here, but I'm happy I'm here now.
No, it was excellent to have you, mate. And we go just before we go, so we don't forget, mate. I'm sitting here looking at the notes I took earlier, and my son's decided to not only name but draw his 3 favorite guns, brother. So, keeping up with the tradition, mate. Can you give us your 3 favorite guns?
Yeah. Right now it's the CZ Shadow 2. I carry the compact version, which is actually sitting here on the desk, of course. But I carry the compact version. I compete with the. It's not on the wall,
what caliber is that?
9mm.
9. Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I don't have any other caliber guns never, I lied. I have a 22 that I use just for fun, and then the wife has a 380, but she actually carries her 9. And then my second favorite gun, I don't know. I'm one of those weird dudes who doesn't really pick favorites.
I like them all.
Yeah.
Hey, we try to give you 3.
I know, and it does what it's supposed to do. I'm cool. I guess a P320, kind of fallen from grace, but
Sig.
That's what I cut my teeth on was a 320. This is a all steel model, and it's, I don't know, this gun probably has 80,000 rounds on it.
Nice.
Yeah. I think I've shot 140 something thousand rounds over the past 8 years, and probably 80,000 is on that single platform.
That's a lot of rounds.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a fucking lot of rounds.
Nice.
Third is gonna be my PWS SBR rifle. So this is that question everybody asks. If you could only grab one rifle, what would it be? Well, it's gonna be this one.
That's with the grab bag, is it?
Yeah. If it shit hits the fan, grabbing that and grabbing the pistol and heading out the door. But
I'm gonna have to get out to America so you can show me how to use all these things.
We can make that happen. It's too easy.
I just I always also ask your opinion of my EDC. I'm in Florida with my concealed permit. I prefer the Glock 30, which is a subcompact 45 with 10 rounds. What do you think about that?
No.
Okay, let me give you my mindset though, right? Remember,
please do.
I've seen people live off 9mm, so I don't go less than 45 anymore.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean that's fair. So long as you have a reasoning for what you do, I'm like, hey man, so long as you got a reason, you can articulate it, and you can shoot that gun with relative accuracy and speed. Godspeed, my man. The reason
why the no? Why the no? I want to know why the no.
One, subcompact. I just cannot control a subcompact gun the way that I want to. I know I have a little bit of a different feel for shooting, if that makes sense. So like, I shoot a full size gun in competition like everybody else does. But if I can shoot, I shoot it in a bill drill, 6 rounds. I can pop those 6 rounds off from the draw in about 1.7 to 1.8 seconds. So I would like for my I would like for my everyday carry gun to either keep up with that or at maximum only be like 10% off of that.
Yeah.
So if I put a gun in my hand and I'm trying to press the trigger fast and I can't press the trigger fast enough because it's just a shit trigger, or if I can't grip it properly because it's a subcompact and the grip is too small,
Yep.
or if the recoil is I just can't get it to return as fast as I want to. That gun personally just doesn't fit my style of shooting and what I want. I'm completely aware, like if you pop 2 or 3 rounds into the right bad guy who's hopped up off of whatever he's off of, or if he's got on plates, then, best of luck. But that is why we train. That's why I put enough time and effort into, if I need to shoot you in the face at 20 yards in 2 seconds, I got you.
You hit me.
I got you. I'll be hard pressed to see somebody. If somebody gets up after getting shot in the face with a 9, that's a zombie, and you've got bigger. So
I'm running the other way.
Yeah, I haven't tried my hand with. I definitely haven't tried my hand with a subcompact 45. That's insane. If you said you were carrying like a 1911 and 45, I'd be, oh, okay. Well, it's heavy, but it's a full size gun. You can eat it. Carrying a subcompact 45, my man, you've got some big ones on you. It's just... But that's my reasoning, right? I'm not a huge guy. I'm 5'9", like 190, so I don't have a huge frame. So I also know what that was. Got a 5-year-old and 2 dogs, and they get into crap, and I just heard something too loud.
I got 2 girls myself and a pit bull, bro. So tell me about it.
Oh man, yeah, I got a Doberman and then a little sheepdog poodle mix. But those things, they can get into it. But yeah, no, that's hey, your everyday carry is your everyday carry for a reason.
All right. Last,
have you tried to run a bill drill with that thing?
I told you, bro. I got rods in my hip, screws in my back. Trying to do anything tactical anymore.
No, not
well,
tactical.
Hey,
just
you see
drill.
what
So
I do?
That's
why I do this. This is the closest I get to the 2A world or the U.S. shooters and instructors. I never come like, hey, I'm still operational. I can't do shit. That's why I love to look at guys like you, man.
I got you.
I love, man, the way you also incorporate your family and them knowing firearms as well, man. That's a very amazing thing to me, especially as a Black family. I love that, bro. I really love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Would you like to?
I haven't said it. I'm sorry. I hadn't said it in a while, but you guys have brought up some points I need to remind on social media soon of. We have that mindset of I am my own first responder. Well, if you are the first responder to that front door, you're not Superman. So if you lose that fight as the first responder, have you taught your family to take up the fight afterwards? Because that's the reason that you're becoming
the. Right, goosebumps.
So, damn.
That's why I'm a huge. My wife knows how to shoot. My daughter knows how to shoot. I've taught my neighbors how to shoot. My family, my mother is 50 years old. She shot her first 50 rounds on her 50th birthday last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell of a birthday.
That was my mind. If I am my own first responder, there's a very high likelihood that I take those rounds. Like, that's my sacrifice for the family. But in my absence, have I also prepared my family to take up that fight? Yeah, the whole reason that if I fall, the whole reason was to try to keep them safe and alive. So give them that opportunity to keep themselves alive as well. So we set up wheels and trusts and life insurance, and we carry a gun. But the people you're protecting, can they protect themselves if you're not there?
Right on.
Huge point, right? That's amazing.
They can't get to you, but they can get to your family members. So having your prepared family members, always an amazing thing, man. All right. As we wrap up the show, will you let us know where we can find you online one more time, and then any finishing closing words you have?
You can find me at Barber Training Solutions everywhere. So that's the website, that's the Instagram, Facebook. I'm not on YouTube really. I just haven't put in the time and effort to really grow that. But yeah, if you want to reach out to me, just hit me up on social media. My phone number is attached to the website. It's public information at this point. Yeah, just get out, shoot, and train, and make sure that if you're carrying a gun, make sure that you're well trained with it.
All right, bro. Hey, I really like you, bro. I hope I can either at a gun show somewhere or competitive shoot. I'd love to meet you in person just to shake your hand at any of these. I don't. Hell, my first convention, man, was like SHOT Show in 24. That was the first one. I didn't even know, so that's why I wanted to ask you how you found out about competitive shooting or these shows and TriggerCon, SHOT Show. I had no idea. So I'm really glad that
I'm about a booth.
Yeah, you gonna have a booth this year?
Yeah. No, not my. So Right to Bear, where I work. Well, it's the same booth as the Palmetto State Army booth. It's the same company. We're owned by the same group of guys. So if you come by SHOT Show, y'all can come by the Palmetto State Army booth. I'll be somewhere around there where our Right to Bear booth will be attached to it.
Beautiful.
All right, bro. Good deal. We just got our media invitations again this year. So yeah, we're trying to make it that direction if we can also, bro. But like I said, man, thank you for coming on the show. Like we're a very big fan of yours, like I said, man, and I really appreciate the perspective you opened my eyes up today on the art of instruction versus experience. You put me on game big time, man.
Oh man, well I appreciate.
All right, gentlemen. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I appreciate you guys having me on.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 136. Excuse me, episode 137 of the WarDawg Trail podcast with the one, the only Tre'Von Barber, owner of Barber Training Solutions, competitive shooter, firearms instructor. I'm sure he has many other titles that I honestly can't display to you all at this moment. But we really appreciate having him on the show. Tre'Von, thank you and salute, boss.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, brother.
All love, bro. All love.
Watch you stay to heavens, don't always me. Keeping your voices down and screaming to be free. You're not alive if you're hiding beneath. I'm gonna risk it all. I'm taking this one shot to be free. Hiding your face from the light, cause you're too afraid to see. I'm not a part of the common belief. Throw it against